Thank you guys so much for coming. Secretary, thank you for everything that you've done today so far and participating in the MOU signings. So this is kind of a cool moment for me because, you know, as we've gone through the day and as I was even talking to people just now, it's great to see what we're accomplishing here so far. And the fact that the room is still as full as it is at this point of the day in conferences. This is typically the time that I'm running for something and not necessarily in the conference center anymore. But again, it just shows how significant this dialogue is and what we're really achieving here. So President Parker, I'd love for you to take a moment and just introduce yourself and talk a little bit about the college.
Great, thanks so much, Matt. So happy to be here, and Kelly, thank you so much for pulling this together. So I am honored to serve as the president of Palm Beach State College. We have 6 different locations throughout the county, and we serve about 40,000 students. We have been a part of the fabric of higher education in the state of Florida for 90 years. We're the very first public junior college that was established for the state, and we've been continuing our work for 90 plus years now. So when I think about the work we do, we offer associate's degrees, we offer certificates, as well as bachelor's degree programs, with the idea that we're preparing people to go right to work. So whether it's in electrical engineering, or whether it's in cybersecurity, or artificial intelligence, or health sciences, we are preparing those folks who are really interested in applied technology and interested in learning how to do things with maybe a shorter career path to get there, but they're ready to go right in and make a difference in the community. We are the institution that provides the infrastructure that makes our county work. That is, that if you're looking for the people to actually fill the jobs that are going to make a difference, it's our responsibility to do that.
And you know, Secretary Kelly, we've said it a few times today, but I'd love to really underscore the emphasis of how colleges play a role in the economic impact of the quantum economy.
Great question, and happy to do that. I need to do a mea culpa first. When we had all the universities up here before, which was super cool, and again, very historic, I can't believe as a Florida Gator that the university I forgot to name was the University of Florida.
Yikes.
And then I looked at Elias and Jackson and Phil and the team, and I just said, oh my God.
Go Gators.
Go Gators. Go Gators. Somehow we beat Texas. The college system is really critical to connecting the dots to companies themselves and scaling any industry. Every industry has its infancy. Oftentimes that does begin in the university system. Oftentimes that does begin in an engineering school, somewhere deep in a laboratory. But to scale an industry and connect that industry to real people and to accelerate an industry, the college system is the must-have in all cases. And it really truly is a community's, even though we call it the state college system, it is a community's college system. Because the college system, President Parker, the team at Palm Beach, all of our 28 state colleges, they really serve the business community and connecting the dots to those who really want to elevate their families, elevate their communities, accelerate their households, create opportunity. And because they're offering those opportunities with two-year credentials, certificate programs, apprenticeships, a variety of very nimble opportunities, they really give that opportunity. You know, when you think about it, aerospace and aviation is a great example. For every engineer in aerospace and aviation who's working at L3 Harris, Lockheed Martin, and so forth, there's 10 individuals with sub-baccalaureate credentials who came through a Palm Beach State College, and Indy River, of Valencia, and so forth, Eastern Florida, who are powering up what that engineer is doing. So it's absolutely critical.
So today is sort of an important milestone for me personally. And a lot of this has to go back to 3 or 4 years ago. I had this concept of building a incubator or a space specifically for startups and individuals to go in and build their business and be around like-minded people that were also doing something very similar. And I was very fortunate to be introduced to some of the people at IBM back then, and more specifically Jay Gambetta, who outlined for me what they describe as the quantum decade. And if anyone has not read the book, I highly recommend it. It's very, very good from a generalist perspective of what is quantum, and the biggest area of it that I love the most is at the last 25% of the book, they really get into the practical applications of where quantum will have the biggest impact. And then along this journey for me, I get to meet the most absolute incredible business partners one could ever imagine, and that's Hillary and Dimitri. They arguably are two of the most incredible beings that I don't think that I could be doing what I'm doing today without them as my partners. And then I meet people that are on this stage that extend that partnership in such unique ways, going way beyond anything that I could have ever imagined. So that being said, President Parker, I would love for you to share today what your initiative is.
Thanks again, Matt. As I think about this, and I think about how cool it was, Secretary Kelly, that you had all of our state university system on the stage at one time, and how they were marching together towards something that's so important and so valuable for our state. It would be remiss for me to leave the Florida college system out of this conversation. So just as that was such a big announcement, we also would like to announce today that we are going to be establishing a quantum center at Palm Beach State College. We are excited about this opportunity. That is that we see ourselves as an institution that understands the value of partnerships, and as an institution that understands that if I'm really going to prepare students to be able to go forth and be of real value to employers, you have to be working with employers, working with those who are making this happen regularly. And so we think the Quantum Center is going to provide just that opportunity. That is right here in downtown West Palm Beach, where we have access to the Florida Lambda Rail. We'll be able to actually bring in those folks who are interested in innovating and building in this area and put them with our students, who can in turn be their interns and their associates and helping to make all this happen, so that we are the nexus of what really employers will be looking for when we're building this whole quantum industry in Palm Beach County. So we're so excited to do that, so excited to have Matt as a partner in this work, and that he, along with here with Quantum Coast Capital, will be serving as an incubator and working with those new companies who have these valuable and cool ideas that will come together right here in the heart of West Palm Beach and create this opportunity for collaboration, innovation, and just taking over the state of Florida.
And there's this incredible juxtaposition because the building itself is historic. There's a photo of it with some old cars in front of it, black and white, and what's been so incredible is going through this journey with President Parker and Secretary Kelly, and also, huge impact from Kelly Smallridge from the Business Development Board, who is just the most dynamic powerhouse this community could ever imagine. And her way of connecting people and your guys' partnerships has really led to a very quick transition into building this initiative. And again, huge applause to you and to the Quantum Center. Secretary Kelly, as a sort of state perspective, right? What do you feel that this Quantum Center represents in Florida's role in innovation and infrastructure?
Sure. I think it's a couple things. First, and I get asked this question actually all the time by lawmakers. I was with some of our legislators yesterday in Tallahassee asking this question for different reasons, but it's an important point, which is a healthy educational community that has a fighting, sustainable chance to support an industry has to be a complete educational vertical. And what I mean by that is K through 20. Every aspect of that is critical. Not just for developing and growing an industry, but the long-term sustainability of it, the ability to, as an industry grows and diversifies, the ability to support that industry at all levels. And so having key recognized pillars of that educational focal points, places to convene, for students to go, companies to grow, for that sort of R&D and that commercialization to all occur under one roof is a powerful way to say that Palm Beach County, this community, this region, is trying to create a sustainable educational vertical, because that is going to attract companies, that is going to attract investment, and it just demonstrates so much. I think the other key point, and this is just kind of to broaden this out a little bit, when you think about quantum-related investment around the state that already exists, look at Florida State just launched their quantum hub in Tallahassee. It's incredibly impressive. It's a place for students, faculty, and companies to grow and learn right near the Mag Lab. The University of Florida has an incredible footprint with HyperGator, all of their AI-related programming, really an incredible depth of engineering expertise and connectivity to a lot of companies. UCF, so strong in optics, photonics, FIU, University of Miami. Every one of them has different key critical hubs of activity. And at the end of the day, it's so important to build out that map. And because from a learner perspective, for a student who's here or wants to be here, from a company perspective, no one community is going to be everything to all of the above, but it's so important to visibly show that menu to create a really welcoming ecosystem for quantum technologies.
And now, President Parker, one of the biggest things with the Quantum Center is it'll also serve as this incubator. We've talked about that a lot, and helping startups and giving students sort of more exposure to real-time ventures. How do you see bridging education to employment gap?
I want to go back and say, Matt, that when I talk a little bit about Florida Lambda Rail, I should note that when I think about the Florida Lambda Rail, I think of it as this kind of connectivity to colleges and universities across the state. And so when I say we're building this here in the heart of Palm Beach County, I don't want anyone to think it's something that is just singular and that we're just thinking about our county. It's something that we're doing for the state of Florida, because we think it's so important by having that type of connectivity that we can develop the ecosystem that Secretary Kelly just discussed. That it's so important for us to understand it's going to take different pieces of the puzzle throughout the state in order to make this happen. And we just want to be that great connector because we just happen to be here, happen to be in location to have that kind of access. And when I think about as we move forward with this and kind of what it looks like, I do also want to mention that even students in high school are starting these conversations, and that we're right there by Dreyfus High School, and they already have a quantum club going at that high school, which is so cool. And so we really understand that it is something that goes K-12 up through the university system to make this work. And we just happen to be uniquely located and have a vision for that type of success that we think will make a difference. One other thing I'd like to mention, too, in the a couple of minutes we have left, is that it is interesting that we're in the building that was our very first location. So over 90 years ago, when we had our very first classes, we had our classes in this building. So there's the one that you pictured there. So it's fabulous that we're juxtaposing this idea that they had over 90 years ago that the college system is supposedly all about workforce and making things happen no matter what's ahead. So we're looking into the future, understanding what's happening, and using that same location that they used like 93 years ago to now prepare for what's next, we think, in the state of Florida.
It is the year of quantum, 100 year of quantum technology and science, and it is sort of this parallel that I've seen throughout the year in talking to people. And again, yes, I do think that there is something really incredible about the fact that that was sort of used for the last 100 years. I'm excited for us to be remembered 100 years from now for what this milestone was in our community and all the great jobs and companies that this center will bring to our economy here. And also sprout out and hopefully succeed in growing into the community and building offices and really participating in the fabric of everything that we have going on in our incredible community here in Florida. And again, underscoring Florida as a whole. So with that said, again, thank you guys so much. Congratulations on this incredible initiative. Secretary, thank you so much for all of your time today. Thank you.